All right, welcome everybody to Monday Expert Interview. And do we have a show for you today? Understanding the new Offsite Construction Standards 1200 and 1205. Creating consistency and regulating offsite construction code compliance so that manufacturers, building teams, regulators can all win. Dr. Diana Fissler, Senior Principal, ADL Ventures, joins me today to explore the insights and implications of ICC MBI 2021 Standards 1200 and 1205. These standards are designed to advance further understanding and adoption of offsite construction and address the multiple challenges that the built environment faces, like workforce availability, housing affordability, job site safety, building quality, and sustainability. Learn how more cities across the nation are adopting these new measures and realizing the economic and environmental benefits of systems-built housing. Also, today is the last day for your chance to win a free all-access pass to the International Builder Show. That's right, all access. That means it gets you into the show and all the education that is happening at the show. IBS is where innovation and innovating conversations can be found in every corner of this show from the National Association of Home Builders. You want to type in hashtag IBS 2022 for your chance to win that last coveted ticket. One of 5. This is the last one. But we can't do all of this without our sponsors. So a big thank you to Carson Holmquist and the team at Stream Logistics. They are experts in high stakes freight. They are perfect choice for projects with timelines and a specific delivery sequence, shipments with high complexity and unique constraints. New methods of construction need new transportation solutions, and they are up for the challenge. You want to go and check them out at www.streamlogistics.com, and they are no joke. They are using technology like nobody else has done in the logistics and transportation space. All right, so without further ado, we have Dr. Diana Fissler waiting in the wing. Let's bring her in. How are you, Dr.? Do I say Dr. Diana Fissler, Dr. Fissler, Diana, whatever?
I think Diana would be okay.
I love it. Diana, it is awesome to have you on the show. You have been a supporter of our show for a long time, and we've been a supporter of what you're doing, not only at ADL Ventures, but the ABC Collaborative and so many other things. So before we jump into this conversation, we want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time. Do not leave out any of the good stuff from the hospital, or we will call your mother and we will bring her on the show to tell us all the good scoop. But you only have 2 minutes to do it. The floor is yours.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dave. I'm a huge fan of the show. Thanks for having me on. Okay, so me from birth to now. I was born in Philadelphia. I went to school at UMass for physics and geology. Found myself at Penn State for a PhD in geophysics. Usually you end up going into oil and gas exploration with that. I did not choose to do that. I ended up at a building materials company you may have heard of called Johns Manville. Before I knew it, I was doing glass chemistry, binder chemistry, running the product testing labs there. It was all good. But then I think it was just 8 years ago, I went to a Housing Innovation Alliance event, and I found out that offsite construction was imminent and exciting and a thing. Among other reasons, I chose to leave Johns Manville and seek more innovation in the built environment. I landed at ADL Ventures, where we seek to help organizations like Johns Manville, among other legacy organizations, to innovate. And we are also pleased to be partnered with RMI, formerly Rocky Mountain Institute, on the ABC Collaborative, as you mentioned, Dave. That is a program kicked off and funded by the Department of Energy to help to remove and address the systemic barriers to innovating in the built environment. And that's where I'm at today.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to touch on just the government for a moment here. How important, since you're so deep in it, how important is some of the government, resources that they're pouring into the research within offsite construction. I know you're a part of it. So can you
Right.
just give us a quick overview on how important this is and maybe what you see as the benefit?
Yeah, I think if you look, you can see throughout history, not just in the built environment, but in many different industries, sometimes things get stuck and they need a little bit of a helping hand, an influx of money or an incentive or a policy from the government. And when that happens, just to give a shove, to give a set a direction that the industry knows they need, the government can be really helpful with that. And with something as complicated and entrenched as building construction, we kind of think this is the right time for the government to help with offsite construction. And the DOE agrees. The DOE thinks that looking at, some of the barriers that exist around, codes and which we're going to talk about today, among other sort of supply chain issues, if they could just give a little nudge here and there and really help to coordinate things, all of us in the industry would really benefit. And that is, I think, the premise. The government doesn't want to take over, but they want to just give a nudge in the right places.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? And it's going to take the government for a lot of these changes to actually, come into play and take effect. They may not want to take over, but
Right.
we really need them to help us and work with us. And in my opinion, I think it would be absolutely amazing. So Diane, take this back to them. Say,
I'm going to
start
tell the
you.
government.
Yep, you go tell them. You say Dave Cooper said, start leading the way. Start building all of your projects using offsite construction, modern methods of construction, and show us projects that come in on time and on budget, if not better than budget, without millions of dollars of overruns. And then I think other people will follow suit.
I mean, that's a huge point. I was just in an ASHRAE meeting on Saturday and the Army Corps of Engineers, I think, was there.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how many buildings they have. So you're right, they could lead the way.
They could lead the way, and I think it's good for the people and it's good for the politicians. Imagine a politician saying, yeah, we allotted $100 million and we only spent 98 million. We would all fall over. Anyhow, it's good for re-election, right? We could sell that too. All
That
right,
would be a good story.
let's get into why we're here. All right, we're here with we had Ryan Coker on. We mentioned prior, right?
Yep.
So we're not going to dive into the specifics of the standards, 2021 standards, 1200 and 1205. What we're going to do is talk about who's adopting it, why why they're adopting it, who's maybe not adopting it. And let's start off with that. So, and Diana, also make sure you plug, because you're going to be speaking about this at the International Builders Show, right?
Right.
And type in hashtag IBS 2022 if you want to win the last ticket today. Diana will be there, and this pass that we're giving away will give you access to see Diana Fissler do her presentation. So why don't you tell us a little bit about these standards and why you chose to talk about them?
Yeah, sounds great. So the standards, for anybody who didn't catch Ryan's show last year with Dave, are two new standards developed by the ICC and the Modular Building Institute to address design and inspection for offsite construction. And, the problem is that, diligent code inspectors all over the country, when they see something built not on site, there's not really any guidance there. And recognizing that, the ICC and MBI swung into action and developed these two new standards. And they've just been finalized. And we wanted to give an update on how are they going? Like, what are people seeing? Are people anxious to adopt them? Does the industry see this as a key enabler? And more important, questioning ourselves, is this enough? And what else should we be doing next? And so I'm going to be giving an update on that. But Dave, should I go straight into who's looking at them right now?
I definitely think we should talk about who's looking at them, who's adopting them, and then we can get into the why. And if people are out there and you have questions on this,
right,
we'd love to hear from them. Will we have an answer? Maybe not, but I can guarantee you we will come back on with an answer, or we'll have an answer by the time we get to the show in Orlando. Hashtag IBS 2022. But hop into it. Go ahead, Diana.
Yeah. So what we thought was particularly exciting and kind of intriguing is some activity from a place you might not have expected, which is Salt Lake City. And last year, before these standards were even finalized, Salt Lake City, recognizing that they have an affordable housing gap, and Utah is a state that doesn't have a uniform process for modular building or offsite construction. And so they adopted these standards even before they were finalized. And that allowed their inspectors to have a process by which they could go out, that they could be guided on inspection of offsite construction that was built elsewhere and then assembled on site in Salt Lake City. And what we're doing for the Builders Show, hashtag IBS,
Nice.
type it in, is we're interviewing the department there in Salt Lake City to say, okay, so you did this, you took this bold step, you adopted these standards in order to address the needs of your affordable housing residents. How's it going? Because what we don't want to do is declare victory and just walk away. We want to understand, are these standards meeting your needs? Is there more that needs to be done? And so I'll be reporting out on that at the NHB lounge.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about adopting these codes. We're not seeing a mass, adoption across the country just yet. Let's kind of theorize a little bit on why that isn't happening. And, you mentioned before the show that part of it is it's just so new, is
Yeah.
one. The other side of it is I bet there's just not a whole lot of resources to get it out to the tens of thousands of building code officials
Right.
that are there.
Oh, that's such a good point, Dave. So first of all, yes, these just got finalized. So I got to believe that there's a lot of municipalities that are looking at it, but there are others that just aren't aware of it. And despite how tirelessly MBI and ICC have been working, I think we need to all get the word out. If you're in a city or a county that's facing an affordable housing crisis and things are slow in terms of getting housing built, we can help you. We can come and talk to your code officials or your legislative bodies about getting these adopted. Getting the word out is going to be really important. And I didn't get a chance to say, in addition to Salt Lake City, we've seen some activity in Washington State as well. And they had backlogged inspections, and they're currently trying out the inspection process as well in Washington State.
Yeah.
And one thing you just said made me think of it as well. Things are probably additionally backed up because of quarantines and people doing remote work. One of the things that the ICC, Ryan Kolker, has been seeing is an increased interest in virtual inspections. So, being able to go video inspections of factories, of job sites and things like that, which should translate into more use of offsite construction.
Yeah. And I think that's, there's a lot of people working on it, right? Let me just go into this a little bit because we got Ryan Kolker. I know
Yep.
MBI, Tom Hardiman, and his team has been putting a ton of work into making
Yep.
all this come to fruition. And now, I also know at the NEHB Systems Building Council, Building Systems Council, we're getting ready to put out this year a whole offsite modular, I think, to all of the MBA, I guess the building associations, your local HBAs,
Right.
and so forth.
Let's not forget about our friends at the Housing Innovation Alliance. They have some excellent tools for this.
Yeah. So you got Dennis Steigerwalt and his team over there at the Housing Innovation Alliance. They've been working on this with their offsite heat map and what have you, and the things that they have done. But it's really no good unless the information can get out to the masses.
That's right.
And actually be adopted, or it's just another code that's buried somewhere in the 6,000-page book. So I ask everybody out there, what are ways that we can work together, collaborate to get the message out there? Because this is, to me, Diana, it's just a big deal to, we're finally getting codes in the code book, more of them.
Right.
We're finally getting that recognition that says, hey, this is coming. We're starting to spend time on it. Now we just need to make sure people understand it so we can make the ease of building offsite in all 50 states easier.
But
it's only going to get easier if the officials know it's there.
That's right. And I'd love to hear, I think I said a minute ago, are there promising areas where we can really stick a lever in this and help to get things adopted? Places where the need is urgent. We're glad we can come and give a talk about it. We can provide resources and things like that. The ICC has plenty of resources.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to throw this out for the audience, Dan, and maybe some people out there will chime in on this. They may tear me up. I Wouldn't be the first time. Why do we even need to fit into the existing codes? Why? Why can we not have our own offsite code book, just like all other manufacturing companies that are out there? Why are we trying to always put a round peg into a square hole? So if you have an answer out there, why don't we make our own code? We had Paolo on from Boxable, and that's what they're trying to do, is write their own code for the Boxable. And, and I sometimes wonder, we got other states like, Britain, I saw Gary made a comment, UK,
Right.
Modernize or Die. We had those guys on the show talking about it, but I want to throw that out there. So put your comments in there, keep them kind of short so we don't have to read paragraphs, but love to know your thoughts.
Can I take your opposite position?
Yeah, go for it.
While I'm here. So I think there's a little bit of a fear that if modular building doesn't appear to comply with the current building codes, if it's a whole separate code, that it might be perceived as lesser. And as you and I know, it is not lesser. In fact, it has the potential to be significantly better. So that's I think what people are scared of. If you can't say this complies with the IRC, then people are like, wait, what is this? Can I trust it? And that's what the fear is. So I'd love to hear how we're going to get around that.
Yeah, very true, right? There is a fear. There's opposing forces out there that have not adopted this, and I would be safe to say there are some who do not want us to adopt this because life is good with supply and demand in some of these housing markets.
There's money to be made.
There is money to be made. So there is that side of it as well. Tell us what you think out there. Go ahead, put a comment in there. And if you want to win your free ticket, all access pass to see Diana speak at the International Builders Show, today is your chance. This will be the last drawing. Type in hashtag IBS 2022. And guess what? We actually have Greg Ugaldi in the audience today, Diana. Greg Ugaldi is the immediate past chairman of the National Association of Home Builders, and he joins the show with us quite often. Diana, why don't we go to a couple comments while we let some of this stew on everybody that's out there. I even saw Ryan Culker, I think, is in here today.
Oh, great. Ryan will correct me if I've said anything wrong.
That's right. Hey, Tom Reddy, coming in from Pittsburgh today. Good to see you, Tom. Expert in light gauge steel manufacturing. That guy is right there, and he's a good person. You know why? Because he's from Pittsburgh. We're all good people from Pittsburgh. That's at least what we're full of, anyhow. George Ryman, good morning from Phoenix, Arizona. Good to see you, George. Thank you for joining us today. And we got Michael Bruce from sunny Gulf Shores today. Dave, good to see you, Michael. Excuse me, Michael, will you be at the International Builder Show? Would love to know. Oh, YouTube in the house. Hello, Dave and Diana, tuning in from Boston today, and I'm really excited to see ICC MBI standards 1200, 1205 being highlighted for their potential to advance the industry today and at IBS 2022. Thank you, Alyssa, for joining us today. All right, we got the Gary
Hi,
Fleischer,
Gary.
the mod coach. Let's wave to Gary. Hey, Gary. Good to see you
I
today.
love talking to Gary.
Yeah, the British government is already pushing the building industry to move faster into MMC. You are absolutely right. Good to see you, Gary. Hope you're recovering well. And we are going to find a way to bring Gary virtually to the International Builder Show this year. How cool is that? How cool is that? Because he's not going to be able to attend this year, but we're going to bring him in virtually because he needs to be there. All right, we got Steve Burrows in the house. Innovation in China, European Bauhaus, UK government, and other places do not have lobby groups that try to preserve materials, methods, status quo, which is huge U.S. barrier to innovation. What do you think of that?
I think that's true. So are you going to do some more comments? I was just going to make a comment that, in addition to these standards that have just been finalized, we've got another, or the ICC has another standard in the work to address MEP as well, and hopefully to be able to enable some innovation in energy efficiency of MEP systems.
Yeah, so all right. So this is cool too, right? So, and I get excited about it because we had I think it was M Suite on recently. Even with MEPs are going to Offsite as well. There are several companies out there that you can now send your plans to, and they will completely build your Offsite components for all your MEPs, wiring, mechanical, plumbing. Yes, I said plumbing. and it'll become plug and play in your manufacturing facilities. So this is really interesting. So you say that right now you're working on another code for MEP manufacturing?
Right, ICC is, and they're welcoming members to be part of that and to comment on that standard as it gets developed. So if you're interested in that and you have expertise, you can contact me, you can contact Ryan Kolker, and we'd be glad to have you.
Yeah, I think I see. This is awesome. Ryan Kolker, you're my favorite right now. You and Tom and everybody else out there working on this, because we need this to happen.
I think it's really important, Dave, for people to realize it's not just the building enclosure that's offsite, right? You know, like there's your MEP, there's your HVAC systems, there's roof trusses, there's all kinds of opportunities for bringing more fabrication into the built environment.
There truly is more. Let's a couple more shout outs here. Greg Gugaldi, great Dave, and Doc Dye, he called you. Doc Dye, that's your new nickname. We're gonna have Doc Dye on. Tons of great info. All right, here's Ryan Kolker, who is working on our codes for us at the ICC. Like most policy processes, including updating of codes, the process can take a long time to get institutionalized. We've seen some positive interest to date and appreciate everyone getting the word out. That's right. You want to talk about the codes? Ryan is the person to know about the codes for sure. So I love it. I love it. I love it. So Ryan, thank you for chiming in today. It's always awesome when we get the folks that are at the top of the food chain putting these codes into place. Appreciate that. Greg's got a big comment too. Here is the rub. As we grow the 4% of offsite construction, helpful codes and standards will be introduced as needed, much like favorable zoning regs that go arm in arm with expansion. What do you think?
That's exactly right. And any way we can help with that, let us know, Greg.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, so Diana, let's get back to this conversation. Type in hashtag IBS 2022 if you want your chance to win. Right now, it's a good chance. There's only one person that has typed in IBS 2022 hashtag. So now's your chance to win that ticket. So put it in there. Folks. We got a lot of people commenting. We're not going to be able to get to everybody today, but I do think that we can also talk about, you know, removing the systematic barriers to innovation in the built environment, much like cabinets, windows are built off-site, like you mentioned. We're not talking about an all or nothing approach here, are we?
Yeah, and that's something I hammer all the time. I think people forget that we use prefabricated elements in the built environment all the time. 50 years ago, people used to build cabinets either in the garage or in the kitchen on site, you know, doing all that careful artisanal work in the home as it was under construction. And yet today, no one thinks twice about buying prefabricated cabinets, the ease, the efficiency, and the consistency. It's really just a matter of asking what level of componentization makes sense to me economically as a builder and is supported by codes and inspectors. What can I do that makes sense? It's not all or nothing. It's not always putting blocks together, even though we'd love to see more putting blocks together.
Yeah, for sure. Let's let me do another comment here real quick from Damian Furchier. I think I said that right. Furchier. While offsite methods of companies are growing strong globally, the construction industry as a whole is only slowly accepting its foothold as a real solution. And this is, in my opinion, takes time. Changing code is one of many steps for us to complete on every level. So this is the thing, right? Everybody's kind of making the same comments here.
Right. I don't see
the answers within the comments.
Dave, I don't see anyone responding to your challenge to make a separate building code, though, for these products we call offsite constructed buildings.
Well, here we got Tom Hardiman here. Let's see what he said, and then I'm gonna call him on it. We need the entire offsite community to rally behind adoption of these standards. They are completed, just need to be adopted. All right, so Tom, you know, we love all the work you're putting into it, and by all means. But here was the question we were throwing out earlier. Maybe you were here, maybe you weren't. You know, why not just make a code for offsite construction? I guarantee Tom's thought about this. That's why I'm asking him. And I guarantee there's probably a reason why, and it's probably political and bureaucratic, and maybe not. But I'd love to know why. Why don't we just write a new code book just for offsite construction? Tom, give us your answer. All right, love it, love it, love it. We got Jim Shiming joining us from Alaska. Very excited to see these standards coming out. We use offsite builds all the time in mining. You're absolutely right.
You're right,
do a
Jim.
lot of offsite. Yeah, appreciate it.
And construction site buildings are built in the factory. Yeah. They're right there in front of us all the time.
That's right. That's right. They definitely are. And all the way from New Zealand, Green Frame. Good to see you, Carol. Thanks for joining us. I don't know how to say the last name, but I'm going to work on that. Tom says no new codes needed. We don't want another HUD code.
I knew he was going to say that. So a lot of people ask about why can't we just have a code like the HUD code? Why don't we have a national code for buildings? Yeah. And there's a lot of complicated reasons for that. I'd love to hear your points, Dave. But I think what people get scared of is that it'll become very slow then to revise once it's a national code, because there'll be so many interests trying to weigh in. And if we keep it, the premise is if we keep it private and more fragmented, we can make changes more flexibly, and different cities and states can customize it to meet their needs. Yeah. Counter? You want a devil's advocate on me?
Well, I don't actually, because I agree with it, and I do think that, meeting the needs of, so here's the thing. We're dealing with 50 states. We're not England. We're not one little island, right? We're 50 plus states, right? So if we look at it, and we all have our nuances, right? It's like some are Democratic, some are Republican. Like, we have differences. Right. And that's just, the way it is. And then every town, not only every town, but think about every climate zone we're all building in. It's not one size fits all, this whole process. So I love the work that you guys are doing. I love the work that Tom's doing. I'm definitely not going to play devil's advocate.
So I would actually dare say that these new standards, 1200 and 1205, and then the upcoming 1210 for MEP, are kind of the best of both worlds, because they actually give a uniform standard that any state, any city can adopt, right? That provides the kind of uniformity that fabricators, modular builders need, and then builders who want to use those can use. So then in that sense, we don't need a national code, because we already have something in the works here. That's right. What do you think about that?
I think that it's in the works is great. I think all the answers are in everybody's comments that they're putting there. Mm-hmm. It's not that we need a different standard. It's not that we need a new HUD code. It's not that we need to rewrite the books. It's that we need a voice and a message of everybody shouting it out and getting it out to all of the people that need to know about it. Right. How do we do that? That's the question. How do we get it out there? How do we get in every building inspector's, address book and plop it in there and say, hey, check this out. Right.
Can you do a shout out to the comments and ask where people think could be the next hotspot for adopting these standards, where we might want to focus our efforts?
You just did. There you go, everybody. Dr. Diana Fissler would love to know your thoughts on where, these next standards should be rolled out and adopted. Where, what city, what state, let us know. Do you see anybody currently looking at it? Is there any cities that are on the radar that are considering it that you know of?
Well, the only ones that I know of that I was going to share next week are the Salt Lake City and the Washington State. Yeah. And there is some activity in Chicago to try to make sure that the standards for offsite are the same as a standard for site build. And that kind of gets back to what you were saying earlier, what we were talking about earlier, is this sort of fear of factory constructed components being not the same as on-site. And I think we've demonstrated convincingly that they are as good, if not better, than site build.
Yeah. Listen, Diane, I am going to devil's advocate you right now. Okay.
Do it.
And you know what? I need to do it with a big voice, just so it resonates. Offsite construction is better and always will be than site built construction. It just makes sense. Can't cut the same 2x4 1,000 times across the toe of your boot each and every time like you can do it in the factory. Sorry about that. Just having a little fun there.
I enjoyed it. So it is inherently better. It cannot. It cannot help but be better.
Well,
I agree.
yeah, that's 100% true. So, all right, everybody, listen, put your comments in there. Type in hashtag IBS 2022. We're going to be drawing that ticket in about 6 minutes. So you have 6 minutes to enter in hashtag IBS 2022. Maybe you don't need it, but somebody in your team might appreciate it. You might be able to give it to a customer even. This is your chance to win and do something for yourself or for one of your customers. So I highly suggest that you tune in to this right now. And also, so everybody knows, a little selfish plug, we will be IRLing at the International Builders Show this year. What does that mean? In real life, you might be able to catch hours of us enjoying the show outside of our regular presentations. And we're going to decide how we do that. But we're going to be doing some in real life streaming, because there are a lot of companies out there, and I've been hearing it all for the last couple of weeks, that the company has a policy that they can't go to big group gatherings because of COVID. So there's a lot of people out there that would be spending the money and coming to IBS, but they cannot because of company policy, or they have underlying conditions and it's not worth the risk for them showing up. So at Dave Cooper Live, you need to tune in. We are going to be streaming in real life. That's what they call it, IRL. I love it. I'm getting the young lingo here. At the International Builders Show. So take note of it. It will be in high definition, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it, so long as the Lord Internet works in my favor. So love it. All right, perfect. So we have some more people out there. I like Andrew Seeley says in real life. Tom Reddy says IBS 2022. There we go. We got some people. Jim Shaming says IBS 2022. And hey, listen, we got Henry Mickelberg in the running here for a comment. I would suggest that the international part is an oxymoron. There are so many code variations across the globe. A direct like-for-like code comparison checklist will be required in order to satisfy stakeholders. Well, there's an interesting look at it, huh?
That is. I would say if you take a look at the standards that have just been published, you would see that they kind of apply to anything you would try to do with a factory built component. If you look there, there are things like labeling requirements, making sure you have guidelines for installing and connecting things. Those are going to be true globally anytime that you have factory built components, right? And I think that's what's so beautiful about these standards.
Yeah, for sure. And there's just read the comments. There's already a comment from the man at the top, Ryan Colker, to Henry, so you can check that out. Tom said, we are currently talking to multiple states about this. Washington State just followed for us of third-party approvals. Maryland, New York are considering.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Thumbs up. Hey, and listen, if you guys don't know Tom, I'm going to tell you now, one of the best shows I ever attended was the World of Modular coming up. I believe San Antonio, right, Tom, this year. So if you're not familiar with that and you really want to come to an event that has a lot of focus around volumetric modular commercial space as well as residential, you want to check that out. So Tom, a quick shout out to you as a thank you for everything that you do for us in the industry. So, all right, good. Let's see. All the way from Spain, Diana. You're like all over the world today. Sure. Hello from Barcelona, Spain, from Pablo, YouTube. Thanks for sharing your experiences and knowledge for studying to improve our systems. Hashtag IBS 2022. I hope you win. Starting to fill up now.
I was looking at Jennifer's comment. I was wondering if we could share the Building Systems Council schedule. I could share that schedule on the screen if you like.
Yeah, go right ahead. Put it up there. Put it up there, and I will add it to it. All right, well, Diana's loading that. If you love this content that we bring to you each week, please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to grow it. YouTubers, gotta love them. All right, got it.
Can you see it?
What do you got? Yep, there it is.
Yeah, so I mean, you should definitely type in hashtag IBS 2022 because look at all of this good content. So on the first day, Tuesday, we've got modern manufacturing. We've got what's been on a lot of people's mind, the supply chain problems with raw materials have been biting everybody lately. We've got some duct HVAC solutions that are factory built.
Yep.
A little bit of talk about BIM. I'm sure you've had shows before on that, right?
Yeah, and I'm on some of those panels that you're seeing there, so it's a
Right.
chance to come in and talk with us, Ken Semler, and some others that'll be
Right.
there.
And perhaps the most important thing, a networking reception on Tuesday.
I know at 4:30, my presentation ends at 4:45 in the big stage. We're doing the we're here's an interesting one, Diana. So we're doing a topic with Jerry McCaughey, Ken Semler, and Caleb Roop. All right, they're all in the
Yep.
developing offsite construction from a developer's point of view, a developer's point of view, and why they have chosen to use these methods. So join that as well. And then at 4:50, I'm going to leave 4:45. I'm going to run all the way there to get my free drinks at the BSC Lounge.
And network, of course. So
And
then if
network.
you look, there's a whole bunch more. Here's about promotion and PR and how to succeed in offsite.
Yep.
And then, a little bit of a different take on it. We've got a retrofit here from our partners at RMI. This is all on Wednesday. And then finally on Thursday, this is another talk about how you can achieve code compliance with offsite construction and in fact get ahead of it. And then finally, my talk on offsite construction standards.
Yeah. Love it. That's awesome. Well, I think there's so much going on. This is going to be such a great opportunity, one, to network again. We went, we covered the BCMC show with the, SBCA a couple months ago, and it was amazing the people that were there to do business. Hear me now, to do business. We have all been cooped up for way too long,
Right.
and there's a demand, and people are out there. They want to spend money. They want to do business with people. They want to grow. I think this is going to be an opportunity that we have not seen in the likes of a trade show in a long time, just because it hasn't been happening like it should.
People are going to be giddy to be there, right, Dave?
Look at me. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I am. I'm excited. There's so much to do and so much fun to have. And I'm excited to actually be bringing the streaming aspect to the show and showing people we're going to go everywhere we can go live. So people can sit back, they can tune in. So go subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're interested in that and you want to have live walkthroughs. We're mainly going to be doing it on our YouTube channel, so go there and subscribe so you get notified when we do go live. It's gonna be fun. All right.
What is the title of your talk on the main stage?
Here, I'll put it up for everybody. How about that? Since we're sharing, let me put it up for 1 second. So, what time is your talk at, Diana?
Mine's on Thursday afternoon, so hopefully somebody will stick around for my talk.
Yeah.
Yours is Tuesday, right?
I will stick around for it. Yeah. Here, let me share this for sure. I gotta end your. Sorry for the delay, everybody. We're winging it right now. All right. So there you have it. Right. You'll find me Tuesday, February 8th, 3:45 to 4:45. How to diversify and grow your business with building systems. This is going to be from a developer's point of view, so you definitely want to check it out. And yes, February 9th, 9:15 to 10:15 a.m., we are hosting the Best New Products and Technology Dave Cooper Live. We are the host this year for the awards. How awesome is that? We're going to host the awards this year at the International Builders Show. I mean, to me, it's such an honor because who would have thought that, I'd get to host something like that. So it's an honor, but that's where you can find me. And then in the Building Systems Council Lounge, on a lot of those panels, I'm also sitting, about modular and offsite construction. So you'll be able to find me there on a lot of regular times throughout the day with others. And we're going to start putting some things out there to where if people want to connect with us at the show, once we solidify where all the places we're going to be, we're going to have some free times to let everybody know where we'll be. That networking event at the BSC Lounge at 4:50, I should be there and hope to meet everybody. So, okay, let's get into this raffle. What do we think? We got entries. So this is cool. Let me. I gotta take this one out and reshare. 1 second. Stop that. Add this. We are gonna. I wish I could have multiple shared screens up at one time, folks. I would if I could, but they don't allow us to do that. You ready? Here we go. Here we go. Who's gonna be the winner? Who's gonna be the winner?
I'm so excited.
Oh, Alyssa Watson. There you go. Alyssa Watson, congratulations. You are today's winner for the last International Builders Show ticket that we have. All access. I hope you will use it, and I hope you will go learn some amazing things like from Diana. And even if you can't make it to all the events, you get to meet people like Diana. So, Alyssa, if you could send us a private message on LinkedIn with your email, we will connect you so you can get your free pass. Love it. Congratulations
Awesome.
once again. And to everybody else out there, don't fret. I might have some new ones coming up from one of our sponsors. So we may not be out yet. I don't know for a fact, but we might have some more. I will let you know. But don't hold me to it. Don't say, Dave, you said we had it, because I may not. All right.
You can't just sneak them in the back.
No, yeah, go. So that's it. I'll make a distraction at the front door. Diana will go around back and open up the back door for you to sneak in while I'm making a fool of myself. I love it.
Great.
Steve Burrows says he has big news coming out on February 10th. I wonder what that is. If you guys don't know Steve Burrows, you should know Steve Burrows. I bet your kids know Steve Burrows, because Steve Burrows has been in IMAX movies on engineering.
What?
And our kids know Steve because they watch their shows in the schools and education. He is world renowned. He has a big foothold in the offsite business and knows it very well. He's on the top of he's like the DeSecchi's guys, right? One of the most interesting guys in the world type thing.
Nice.
He's one of them. He's an overachiever, as I would like to say. So, all
Great.
right, Diana, we have gone well over our time together.
Fantastic.
Diana, I'm going to give you the last words here. Let everybody know, they're going to come see you talk today. What are they going to learn? And let's end it there at the IBS show.
So what they're going to learn is the current state of the codes, and they'll also learn what resources exist for learning more about offsite construction. Where can you get started? Where can you find a partner that you can trust? What's the roadmap to adopting it? And what I want you to remember is that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You don't have to go straight to modular. You can evaluate how much you can increase your componentization and productization of the components of your building. And we're here to help you.
There you have it, everybody. All right, listen, again, a big shout out and a thank you
Thanks,
to Alyssa
Dave.
Watson, our International Builders Show winner. Alyssa, thank you so much for tuning in today. And for every one of you out there, we will be next week, not this week, at the International Builders Show, and we will be live streaming from our YouTube channel. So you want to go there and subscribe if you want to see when we go live. It's going to be an inside look of everything that's happening there. Yes, we have an all-access press pass. That's right, we got press pass this year.
Exciting.
We have all access. We're going to be everywhere live streaming and showing you what you're not seeing. So with that said, Diana, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much, Dave.
And I believe Wednesday, by the way, we have Polcom on. That's right, the Polcom group that volumetric building companies just merged with or acquired, right? They're going to be on the show all the way from Poland, talking about their commercial modular buildings and what this partnership with VBC, volumetric building companies, has to do, and what they're going to do together, and how it's going to grow their footprint all around the world. And believe you, they are going global. All right, that's it, Diana. You stay right where you're at. And for the rest of you out there, we will see you on Wednesday, 1 p.m. and then Friday again at 1 p.m. with Mark Barenaked Willie. Do not miss it. Do not miss it. And if you haven't subscribed, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. My name's Dave Cooper, and Dr. Diana Fissler, ADL Ventures. Be sure to follow her as well. All right, Diana, we'll see you in just a few minutes. Bye, everybody.